Hey there! Do you have travel plans with your pup? Whether it's a trip across town or maybe cross country, traveling safely and comfortably with your dog makes all the difference. I'm Claire, and I'm here to walk you through everything you need to know to have a smooth ride with your dog. So let's start with safety. Generally, dogs should not be loose in the car. Of course, this is barring any medical issue, or sometimes service dogs need to be loose in the car in order to get to their guardian if they need. Um, but in most cases, unless they are performing a task or unless there's a medical reason not to, riding loosely in the car is generally something that we want to avoid just because it can be really unsafe. But we've got some options. There are awesome crash-tested harnesses that attach to the seatbelt in your car so that if you crash, your dog does not go flying and they don't injure themselves. And then, of course, there are travel crates. There are crash-tested travel crates that are really safe for your dog and don't crumple with the car if you get into a collision. The back seat is always going to be safest for your dog, not the front seat, again, unless there's some reason that they need to be in the front seat. Generally, it's not safe to let your dog have their head out the window, although I will say that I have been known to do it on a rural country road when I'm going relatively slow. Next up is comfort. We want to make sure both you and your dog are comfortable in the car for a long trip. So that means regular stops at rest stops, plenty of time to get out and stretch the legs and move around, comfortable stuff in the car, so comfortable little nest in their crate or in their seat, as well as things that are cooling if the sun beating through the window is causing them to heat up, even with the air conditioning on. Fans can really help too in the back if your air conditioning system isn't circulating air quite enough. You can add little fans. I have a couple of battery powered fans in the back of my car just to help circulate that air. Making sure that you bring along windshield covers to prevent the heat from beating in and warming up the car when you're parked is a really good idea. I have two. Illuminates are a really good idea too if you're going to be parked somewhere longer with your dog, especially if it's a longer trip. So Illuminate is just kind of the size of a tarp, but it's mesh and it's aluminum. So when the sun beats in, it actually reflects off. So the car does not heat up as much as if you didn't have it. So remember that, remember blocking the sun, reflecting the sun, and also airflow and circulation for those times that you're going to be parked for a longer period. Remember, I am not telling you to leave your dog in the car. I am not. This is for if you are, parked somewhere for a little while together. Maybe you're just relaxing at a rest stop or whatever. Just making sure that we aren't allowing the car to heat up too much. Same thing in the winter. I have a heated blanket, just a battery powered heated blanket that I bring along just in case that we need to use it in the event that a car broke down or whatever so that we can stay warm. And then let's talk emotional comfort for your dog. There are some dogs that riding in the car is really stressful, really scary for them. So there is definitely some behavior modification and some confidence building that we can do. But as a general rule, things that kind of help build emotional comfort in the car are smells from home. So maybe a favorite blanket or something that you can bring the comfort and the calm feelings of home into the car. So bring that along. Some really yummy chews that they like to enjoy and chew on. Chewing can be soothing and stress relieving. So giving them plenty of things to chew on when they're in the car is a really helpful idea. Playing calming music is wonderful. Paying attention to if there are certain stressors for them. So for some dogs, being able to see out the window is really important. It actually helps them feel calmer. For some dogs, seeing out the window is really stressful, right? So pay attention to what is helping and what is hurting your dog. If seeing things out the window is really stressing them out, then maybe it would be a lot more comfortable for them to ride in a travel crate with a blanket or some kind of visual blocker over it. So consider that. If they do need to see out the window, then figure out how way to let them, They can see out through a travel crate if they need to. Just make sure they have access to that window. Sometimes it can make a dog feel uncomfortable when they feel the pressure changes in the car. So allowing there to be cracks in the windows so that there's some airflow can really help. And then fans and constant noise, the constant hum of fans can really help as well. Make sure you don't have any really strong air fresheners or smoke happening in your car. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to smell. So some of those car air fresheners are really, really strong. So make sure that you don't have that because that's really going to bother your dog in the car. If your dog actually gets car sick, then you should talk to your vet about using an anti-nausea medication and something that maybe helps them calm down or has kind of a sedative effect for them. There are also some natural options like natural calming nutraceuticals or calming pheromones. So look into those options as well if you've got a dog who has some anxiety about being in the car. And what should you bring in the car for your dog? I've got a checklist for you. Again, so you've got a crate. This is not a crash-tested crate. This is just a wire crate. I do recommend the crash-tested crates. At some point, I will include that. They're a little bit expensive, but yes, they're worth it. So Ruffland makes a good one. Gunner makes good ones. So crash-tested crates are where it's at. This is just a wire crate, but this is what I have for now. So it has a bed inside. It has an aluminum top here that can kind of prevent the sun from, again, beating in and warming her up. I also, on top here, I have a cooling mat. So if I need to put this down to kind of keep her cool, I can. So that is a cooling mat for her. On a trip, you're going to want to make sure that you bring travel bowls for both food and water if you need. You're not always going to be able to find something like that. I've been in that situation before where I'm asking gas stations for little throwaway cups and things like that. So you want to have everything you need in order to feed your dog. Of course, food, lots of yummy treats as well, lots of long-lasting chews for them as well. Make sure that you have a first aid kit. That's really, really important because sometimes when you're on the road, things happen. So I like to have a doggy first aid kit with me. There's lots of good ones on the market. So just look and I will recommend some. Just check in the post and I'll have some recommended products in that post. Towels, extra blankets, really important to have because dogs can be really messy. So that's really helpful to bring along with you on a trip. Make sure you remember any medications. Definitely make sure you have some Benadryl on board just in case your dog gets bitten by something or something like that. It's really helpful to have on board. And I promise in the event that it does happen and you don't have it, you're going to kick yourself. So have some Benadryl in that first aid kit. Extra leashes, maybe an extra collar. Things break. So having those on board with you is a really, really good idea. I like to have a long line as well. I can use it as a tie out if I need to give my dog a little room to run if we're at a rest stop and I'm busy doing something else. Or it's just good to give them a little extra time to run around because they're spending a lot of time cooped up in the car on a long line. So walking around and they get a lot more freedom to move their bodies and sniff. So food, water, extra jug of water, bowls for the food and the water. Cooling mechanisms like cooling mats and different kind of shields to block sun from entering the car, crate or seatbelt harness, extra leashes, a long line, definitely a first aid kit. Things like that to make sure that your dog is safe are going to be really important. Treats and long-lasting chews. Those are all things that I like to have along for any road trip. Definitely, I just have them in my car so that even if we're taking a 15-minute trip, I have them if I need them. But it's good to kind of plan ahead too, especially if you're going on a long trip, that you have all of these things that I've mentioned. I like to have a walking stick as well. I like to have an air horn, things for safety in case something terrible happens. I've got stuff at the ready to protect us. Leaving your dog in a parked car. generally don't, right? Especially if it's warm and the sun is out, we don't leave dogs in cars. Except if you have thought way ahead and you are so planned and you are so prepared, like I tend to be. So I have an Illuminette. I have solar powered fans. I have battery powered fans. I have water. I have a temperature gauge that hooks to my phone and lets me know if it gets above a certain temperature. So there are ways to do it safely, but if you are not prepared with all of the above, then do not leave your dog in a parked car. If it's nighttime, if it's cooler out, if it's not too cold, sure, you make the choice, think about it. But as a general rule in the summertime, unless you are fully prepared, like me, do not leave your dog in a parked car ever, even if you just crack the window. Okay, so what do we do if we have a dog who is scared or uncomfortable about being in the car? Maybe because they had some really icky car sickness when they were younger and now they don't want to. Maybe the car sickness is over, but they're they've been conditioned to feel really icky and scared about riding in the car. Maybe something scary happened in the car, or maybe they just weren't socialized to car rides at a young age, so they just don't feel safe. Whatever the reason, if they are feeling uncomfortable or scared in the car, then we want to help change that for them. So what I'm doing with Aria right now is just sitting here in the car with her, and I'm just feeding her. So this is the first thing that I recommend to people when they've got a dog who is maybe nervous about the car. The car is not on. I don't even have my keys out here. We just came out here and I'm just giving her treats for hanging out in the car. Maybe your dog's not even at this level yet. Maybe they will not even get in the car. If that is the case, then we play a little game about getting in the car, right? We're not going to pressure. We're just going to say, oh my gosh, can you walk up to the car? What? Give them a ton of treats, let them walk away. We do it again. Maybe this next time they eat a treat out from off the car. Whatever, but we work at whatever comfort level the dog is. If they are not wanting to take treats, you could also come out here once a day for 5 minutes or whatever and feed them their favorite yummy, long-lasting chew, a frozen Kong or something like that, while you sit with them. And again, the car isn't on. When they're super comfortable with that, we're going to turn the car on and we're not going to move. We're just going to sit there. And then we might start taking shorter journeys when our dogs feel more safe and more comfortable in the car. But to start out, we work wherever our dog is comfortable. And if that means we just sit here and we feed treats while the car is not moving, then that's what we do. Traveling with your dog can be amazing. I always travel with dogs. I love it. It's so fun. It's so worth the extra work, in my opinion. But in order to make it as safe as possible and as stress-free as possible, you want to take all of these steps to make sure that you are ready. Prioritize safety, make it comfortable, plan ahead, and you guys will all have a wonderful time traveling with dogs.